Our dad was born in Rangoon, Burma. We know that because he told us when we lived in southeast London. He was born in September 1926, but said he was born in 1925 so he could join the army. His uncle had been sent from Madras, India, to open the post office telegraph. Records show that the first office was on the Strand Road. The construction of the current building at the corner of Maha Bandula Street and Pansodon Street began in 1913. Although the telegraph service were first introduced in British-occupied Lower Burma in 1854. He never mentioned that building, but did mention the bakers who sold pink iced buns. His mum was a Methodist organist, and his uncle, who opened the telegraph, was homosexual. His other uncle ran a school for shorthand and typing, which my dad apparently was slow at. His uncle, who was a postmaster, had previously brought his entire family. His mother was 20 years his junior. Although I wouldn't imagine my brother having to take us with him to a job abroad, I imagine it was normal at the time. All gays were sent to Burma was a joke. My uncle was, and none of us were allowed to say anything against this. As an only child, he recounts how his father died on a tiger shoot. He was 2.5. His dad's name must have been Turner, and his mum must have been born Johns. He recounted the cruelty of the Burmese to their little children, and once felt from a distance the severity of an adult abusing a child. My older and younger sister have visited Rangoon, now Yangon, and I'm still too terrified of his stories haunting me. I even waited for him to die before going to Bombay for my Aunt Sheila, who had been supporting the family for the last 50 years. Her late mother and father, and then the living brothers, who still lived in Love Lane, Barcelona. I ended up praying to die somewhere else, as I could see him turning in his grave, because he was terrified we would die there in Bombay. My Auntie Sheila was born there after the family had been ousted as white people. The Indian government showed no mercy to these white Indians. Every other sect was reared. When Auntie Sheila's last dependent brother died, the tiny bit building rooms that her family occupied since just before her birth, 76 years ago, were given to her niece who lived in the building, Thelma, who would be able to sell the property for money for her daughter to go to college in India. My mum had paid for Auntie to go to college and then for nurses training from her wages as a teacher, and so we saw the end of the devastation and human cruelty of the British Raj come to an end at long last, as willing slaves of the corrupt governments that enslaved us and the human hormones that deceived us into believing this was the way forward. Education of our basic human needs are an essential for all students. I hope we've learnt our lessons never to be slaves again. Taking our story to Woolwich, southeast London, UK, in the 1970s, our little brother, now able to see with these specially made glasses, read aloud from the newspapers of November 1974 about his special needs teacher of Plumstead Common when he was just 10 years old. His teacher was in the pub at Woolwich Common with the special needs boy he housed when the IRA bombed the pub. Our little brother, knowing neither the IRA nor the Royal Bum Boy, Earl Louis Mountbatten of Burma, whose boat was bombed later in November 1979, leaving the debauched remnants of the royal family, who even now suffer the secrets of a boys' school system where dib-dib-dob-dob was not just a choice, but a means to a debauched survival. As we enter a new 5D, we still hear how the victims of the Epstein army recruited by deception more victims. If Epstein had lived, we may now know the monster that recruited him into the depths of human nature that we hope to forget. My dad, who would ask, "What shall we cook? What shall we cook?" Too overwhelmed with the news. I would say the creamy chicken cowsware, or sometimes would say the pork punthway cowsware, which is basically pork noodles. I wish I had recorded some of the observed combinations, as I cannot find any of the recipes here.